Excellent. Hello. Hello. Welcome. And thank you for joining us as we celebrate the global virtual book launch for By Choice, Overcome the Lies and Create a New Financial Truth by Estelle Gibson. Yes. I'm so excited to have everybody here today. And we'd like to welcome our very distinguished guest with a wealth of experience and a passion for transformative financial empowerment. Estelle Gibson is a renowned CPA, TED speaker, author, and holistic financial and business coach. She is dedicated to guiding her clients towards financial mastery through personalized and straightforward strategies. Estelle's unique approach goes beyond traditional financial coaching. She not only draws upon her extensive 40 years of professional experience as a CPA, but also serves as a catalyst for breaking free from limiting beliefs and those big fears that often hinder individuals and businesses from reaching their full potential. So, throughout her illustrious career, Estelle has collaborated with diverse range of clients from small, privately owned businesses, individuals, to Fortune 500 companies across various industries. Today, she continues to inspire and empower others, helping them achieve their goals and dreams by simplifying the complexities of financial management and fostering a mindset of limitless possibilities. Please join me in welcoming the very inspiring Estelle Gibson. Estelle!
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction. Sometimes I have to think, is that really me?
Oh, yes. This is you. Estelle,
This
this is your
is
life.
me. Thank you so much, Leanne, for being here. And I just want to first of all, I want to welcome everybody that is here today. And I want to first say, this is my dad's birthday. And for those of you that have read the book, know that the book is dedicated to my father as my first money mentor and the person that taught me so many things in life. So it's his birthday. Happy birthday, Dad. I know there's some family members joining in. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. And we're celebrating on Dad's birthday. So I want to first say that and welcome everybody also. Next, I want to say thank you, Leanne, and tell you a little bit about Leanne. Leanne is so amazing. And I'm so grateful that you're here, Leanne. And I don't know if I'm going to get it all right, but I want you to share some of what you're currently doing. So Leanne and I met each other several years ago. We went to the same coaching school and we became coaching buddies and collaborators. And we used to do our every week co-working. We just did some amazing stuff together. And Leanne is a life coach. She has been a comedian and MC event coordinator. She's an entrepreneur, and she's been doing that for like 20 years. And she just launched an amazing company that she had a vision for several years ago called Plausible. That is an online comedy. Am I getting it right, Leanne?
Yes, an online comedy club. That's exactly right.
Yes. It is like so new and so exciting. And, she's disrupting the, traditional comedic stage and bringing it into your homes and online. And she's a trailblazer. And I'm so glad you're here.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here. As Estelle said, we have been on this journey together for many years now. And so it's really cool to see things coming to fruition
Both
and
of us, right?
like all of those co-working sessions that we did, all of those, we met every week for several years.
Exactly. It was so good. We got to start that up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We were so
So,
productive and quite chatty. We got our word quota out every
yeah.
day. So it's been really, really exciting and what a celebration. I'm honored to be here at this book launch because I remember all of the times when you were
Oh,
writing it. But
oh my God.
yeah.
Stress
So
of writing
let's
it.
let's talk about Poor by Choice. Let's do it.
Okay.
Tell
All
us a
right.
little
So,
overview.
all right. So what can I tell you? So this book, I'll tell you a little bit about the journey of the book, and then I want to talk a little bit about the title of the book because it's a little bit of a provocative title. So I started writing a book in 2018, so over 5 years ago, and it was a business book. And it was really on the pathway for me. I started out being a personal financial coach, and then very typical of being in the coaching industry and having people tell you, well, that's not a good idea because people aren't going to pay you that don't have money. You need to coach people that are in business. And so I, you know, threw my dream to the wind and started coaching people in business. And so it was a business book. It was a financial business book. And I couldn't get it going. I just couldn't get the flow of the book. And then my TED Talk happened. And then the whole book changed. The whole trajectory of the book changed. And it started to build momentum after the TED Talk. And one of the reasons I wrote it is so many people that saw my TED Talk that came up to me right after the TED Talk said, you told my story, or, oh my gosh, how did you put a name to what I went through? And I had so many comments about it that I decided, well, guess I'm going to write this book. And I never actually really wanted to write a book because I'm a speaker that writes. And so the publisher that I was in the group with, I was like, I just want to write a workbook that goes with my programs and with my speeches so I can have it at the back of the room. And he's like, you really need to write a book. So he talked me into writing a book, best thing I could have ever done. Because people tell you that when you write a book, you change your life. And I was like, no, that's not going to happen to me. And it did. And that leads me into the topic of poor by choice. So and I want to give a shout out to Carrie Oberbrunner, who is my publisher, who owns the publishing company, because I was sticking with like a financial dependency to financial freedom. I couldn't get off that title to save my life. I just kept talking to different people, and I just couldn't, get a clue. And I know you understand this, Leanne, and many of you probably do too, that many of us are gifted in many things, and we call them superpowers now, especially coaches, that we have things that we are just innately good at. And one of the things I'm good at with money is if somebody talks to me for not very long, I can get an insight into what's blocking them and what their money story is and what they need to change. And then I have the ability it can be annoying. I have the ability to see like 10 steps ahead. So I can see where they're headed. I can see it. I can feel it. I know it. They're not there yet. So I have to be careful what I tell people because they're like, what? But that's my superpower. And Carrie's superpower, if you talk to him about a topic, a subject, he can turn it into a book. He sees the vision for the book. And I was on a call, and I happened to be lucky enough to catch a time when I was able to talk to him and just sharing. And he said, tell me a little bit more about the book. And boom, immediately he was thinking about rich dad, poor dad. And he said, there's something about this poor. And is it? And I said, well, freedom's my highest value. And he's like, well, that's choice. And so it just kind of spinned out of that, the beginnings of it. And then I, wordsmithed it and worked it. And he said, it's controversial. And of course I went, well, then I don't want to do it. Because let's just stay with financial dependency to freedom. That sounds nice and safe. But then, I put a poll out and people were like, oh yeah, that's it. And I was like, oh no, can't be it. And but once that title got put in place, everything changed. And everything changed because my highest value is freedom, but I had never languaged it as the power to choose. And that is where the power is, right? We say, oh, we want freedom, but what does freedom bring? And it brings finances, financial peace, but it gives you the power to choose. So I am committed to people having financial freedom so they have the power to choose what they want in their life. And so there's a couple different meanings for the book. So the first part of the book is about financial dependency. And in it, I talk about people are financially dependent, defined as you are dependent on a person, a situation, a job. And a lot of times you feel trapped. You're dependent on them for money. And you're either dependent by choice or by circumstance. And I explain that in the book. And my story is the story of choice. So that's kind of the first meeting, are you poor by choice? I was, chose to be poor by choice. And then the second meaning is that in the book, I talk about, we all have a money life cycle. So if you think about your life, you grow up as a child, your adolescence, you go to college, you start a career, you start a family, you buy a home, you go into your legacy period. So throughout those stages of your money life cycle, you've got choices. Now, we don't always think that we do.
But we do.
But we do. You can think back in your life, Leanne, there's probably crossroads in your life that you made choices that
Oh,
could have gone a different way, right?
they should have. Yes, absolutely.
Right? They should have gone a different way, but you didn't know. You had a choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
This
so
is really true.
yeah. So that is the second sort of meaning of it, is that we have to have an awareness that that exists, because we don't talk about financial literacy. We don't talk about money. So that doesn't become a part of our awareness. And then the third piece is that, and I talk about it in the book, are our choices really our own, or are they a function or the result of the environments we've grown up in, the beliefs that we hold, the experiences that we've had? Is that what's choosing our money life for us? Those underlying things that are unconscious, subconscious, that we have no clue about. So that's kind of what's all boiled up into the book. That is, and I'll just say one more thing, it's in three parts. The first part is all about financial dependency and the solution for that. The second part is my 5-step coaching method that I use with clients. So I take you through that so that you can begin to develop your goals, dreams, and plans to achieve them. And then the third part is 6 main money topics and my spin on them, because it doesn't necessarily fall in line with what everybody else is talking about. Like, no more money diets. I don't talk about budgets. I talk about spending plans and, my spin on debt and everything. So, yeah, so that is the book.
I love it. I love it. And the thing that really and that probably and knowing you too, right? I know your story, but I've already received my copy of the book.
Yay!
And in reading it, I love the fact that you bring in your personal stories to this. So, like in knowing your background, you're a CPA and you have all this financial experience. The first thing that comes to mind when I think that are like spreadsheets and
Oh,
budgets and things, right? But
right.
but what I love about your book is you put it into real world situations and you give real world examples from your own personal life about these choices and how you got where you ended up
Right.
and how in reflection you can look back and you're like, I don't need a spreadsheet as much as I need to know and have this awareness around my choices. So in writing this, do you want to share a little bit about like what your personal inspiration was and how you came to write the book this way?
I just think well, I'll start with the first the thing I tossed aside when I went to be a business coach. Everything started with my divorce. My awakening in my life started with my divorce. And the first time that I had a thought about even doing anything remotely close to this was when I was in my lawyer's office and then going to court with my attorney. And I saw so many women struggling in how she was helping them, even in the courtroom. She had like a kit. She had Kleenex. And I mean, I'm there with her and she's like going up to other women and helping them and consoling them. And I had the thought in her office, I was sitting there and there was a table with all these business cards. And I thought, I wonder if some people need some help with their money. Because at that time, I was really struggling to get everything back in place. And I'm like, qualified to do this, but it was a lot of work because you have to find out what's going on and go through everything. And so I was like, I just wonder if other people had that need that kind of help. That was the first thought of that. And then when I started getting involved in my self-development groups of course, I always joke and say you could find me in the self-development and the self-help section of any bookstore at that time because I was rebuilding my life financially and emotionally. I was like reading are you the one for me? Or what happened to me? I'm okay, you're okay. Just all those books that people, go through and read as they are going through any kind of transition in their life. And as I started doing that, I started to see that I was in two groups of people in the self-development group that were struggling with money, didn't have enough money, angst about money. And I'm in the financial world where people have a lot of money and they're worried about their money, struggling with money, afraid of losing it, afraid, so it's like these two people have the same, these two groups of people have the same fear about money. So that was another, it was like, it came kind of in chunks. It was like, had the idea, then I kept seeing it. Then I actually started to teach some things on a small schedule on it. And then it just, and that was years. I mean, I started doing some of this stuff in, 30 years ago, gosh, before Susie Orman and Dave Ramsey. I had the idea. Okay, I'm just saying that here.
And
But
you were like 10. So yeah.
I just, whatever. It started and
No,
then, turned it into coaching. And I had a young child at the time. So, and it was working. So I couldn't, go full force. But then I got into coaching and then started seeing the benefits of coaching and how it could help people. It just evolved after that. But, that initial inspiration came, that was in 1993. That was 30 years ago when I had the thought, I wonder if women need help with this.
yep. And
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 women and
and we do.
people.
Yes, right? It's so true. And I really, and obviously as we were both coaches and everything, but there's such an element of emotion that goes with
Absolutely.
finances. It's not just numbers. It's not just like, I don't like numbers. It's a lot of feelings and how we were raised in the environments in which we live in, or the friends we hang out with, and we're a reflection
Absolutely.
of that. So the fact
Absolutely.
that your book really taps into those personal experiences
Mhm.
and um, family, friends, work environments, all of those things plays a huge role in how we manage our money. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so I love that your book has this whole different approach, and it's also about choices, because once you crack that open in the book of like, hey, there's when we look at choices, sometimes we think it's this or that, but it's often a lot of what about all of these other things that are
Exactly.
totally possible.
That we're not even thinking about. Yeah, and that's a
Yeah.
big, that's one of the chapters of becoming aware. I think that's for me and working with clients and even in my own journey, for me, awareness is like step one, because you don't even know what you don't know, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a
Yep.
whole realm of possibilities that are like just not available at all. And
Yep.
then once you hear it though, the key, then it's okay, then it becomes a journey because you can't unhear it. So it's like then you have to deal with it, because once you hear it, it cracks it open, and then there's not a lot of turning back. You can go into denial, distraction, dissociation, but
But it
right,
until it no longer serves you. And once
then
those
you
things stop serving you, maybe you're ready.
right, and then you start to see that those aren't serving you. So you start to wake up. So I do talk about that in the book, the stages of awareness and
Yeah.
how that plays a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's incredible. And the other thing I'm really enjoying about this book are the quotes at the beginning of the
Oh, yeah.
chapters. And so all right, so I'm gonna pick one here
Okay, good.
that we can chat about. I have to put my readers on. I can't.
Right. And if you're in the chat, put in your favorite quote.
Oh,
Um, that you have from the book. If you've started reading the book, drop your favorite quote in the chat. I'd love to, um, I'd love to know
yeah,
your favorite
definitely.
quote,
And
'cause-
okay, just looking at like chapter, so you already talked about the first thing of chapter one, which when I
yeah,
first opened to chapter one, I love that you talked about what is financial dependency. But when let's fast forward to chapter three here. You don't need to be an expert, you just need to be informed.
yes. That is, I could talk about that for an hour, but just briefly, I work with so many people that think that I can't do math.
Right?
I mean, seriously, they're like, I'm not good at math. I don't know accounting. I'm not good with spreadsheets, so and I'll tell you, when I was doing my TED Talk, there was, when you do a TED Talk, there's a committee or group of people that you meet with for rehearsals and listen to whatever. And one of the people was a very well respected and good business person. And he told me I don't need to be informed. Okay, that's a wrong thing to say to me. Because then I just, I started to break it down for him, really. So if you don't want to be informed about your money, how can you make decisions about your business? And how can you ensure that the person that is managing your business? I mean, how many stories do we know about celebrities, business owners, athletes that hand over the power and, don't stay informed? People in marriages, I work with couples a lot, and that's one of the big concerns of the person that's not managing the money, is that I don't know anything that's going on. Yes, I feel comfortable, I have enough money, we it's not a problem, but what if something happens? I don't know anything. So you don't have to be an expert, but you need to be informed at every level. I don't care if you've got millions of dollars. Not being informed about the millions of dollars that you have is not like really good.
And I think that I agree with you. And just knowing where are all of your accounts? How do you access
Absolutely.
all of them? What are the recurring bills so that if something,
Exactly.
because inevitably something does happen, you're not hit with a big bag of surprises at the end of the
Thank
day.
you, Leanne. That is so true because life happens.
Yes.
Cars don't work, appliances break, people get ill. That is part of life. And if you don't have any margin, not just in your life, but in your money life, then the big surprise. And then it's like you don't know, you can't even make decisions. I always say that people think money is just this thing that I don't want to deal with, but money gives you power because it gives you the ability to make decisions. Just see it as an information, as information, so
Yeah.
that it helps you make informed decisions. And if you don't have that information, then you can be reeling when there's something. It's like, you can't make a choice, you can't make a decision because you don't even understand what's going on. So, it's like anything in life, when you don't have all the pieces of information, and part of the book is about a journey. If you didn't have on the pieces of the journey that you were taking on a trip you were taking, how could you even decide what you were going to do?
Right?
I don't know
Yeah.
where I'm going to
You know,
stay. I'll just wing it. I don't know how I'm going to get there. I'll just wing it. I mean, it's the same thing with your money.
right. And that's why I appreciate, I think, your personal stories and your journey so much that you share in the book because, I like as we're younger, maybe we don't have some experience, or maybe
Right.
some people have never experienced a divorce before. We always say hindsight is 2020.
Right.
Find someone with hindsight. How would they have done it different? That's who Estelle is. Someone with hindsight of like,
Right.
hey, I've been there. I know what you're going through. I could what your feelings and everything really resonates. Let me show you what it's like on the other side. And if I had to go back and do it again, here are the things that I would want to have. So you're
Exactly.
basically taking all of that hindsight and giving it to people in your book.
Exactly. What a
Yeah.
what a beautiful way of summarizing it. That's so good. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, it's kind of like coaching. Coaches, when you think of sports, coaches coach players to play better and they make observations, and then the player can play at a higher level and a higher level and a higher level. And the more the player becomes better and an expert in that but they do it by practicing. So they get a coach.
Exactly.
How do I do this? And I think we never think about that with well, maybe some people do, but oftentimes it's not the first thing we think of when we think of finances. We think of a financial planner. Just give it to somebody. They'll
Right.
tell us,
Hand over the
we
power.
assume yeah, or we assume that we need to have X amount of money in the bank in order to even reach out to somebody.
Right.
So I love what you're saying is you can start on the other side where you
Exactly.
don't think you need to be before you have anything, and get going so that you can build that up and become better and better and better as you go through.
I think that's a really good point you bring up, Leanne, is that, and I think that is what creates fear and anxiety for people, especially in working with
Mhm.
financial professionals, because they feel like they're handing over their life and you don't
Yeah.
have to. But if you come from the space of, well, I'm just going to hand it over and, they're going to take it over, then it feels, no wonder people feel afraid.
Yeah. Absolutely, right? Like, I was
Yeah.
be terrifying, but still maintaining control and just
Yes.
learning how to practice better habits to become a better person with their personal finances.
Yes.
And that just takes practice. And that's what, just in reading, and looking at your experience, but look at your bio, right? You have 40 years of experience. When day one, when you started, you were a whole different person on
Oh
this
my
journey.
goodness.
And then as you dive in and you practice and you do it over and over and have more experience under your belt, you become an expert in this field. And to have the opportunity to glean some of that from you, I think is fantastic, which takes us to, oh my gosh, what an opportunity for people today, because we have this incredible, incredible offer of each one
Yay.
reach. Tell us about this, because this is a gift.
Yes, it is. So one of the things that, for me, that's most important is to get this message out to people because that is my mission. So I have created for this week only, that people can um you'll be able to purchase the book for yourself and for others for 99 cents. That's the lowest amount. And this is the Kindle version. That's the lowest amount that Amazon will allow. So I dropped the price to the lowest amount that Amazon will allow. And that allows you to purchase the book for 99 cents, the Kindle version, and to also gift it to others. So it's probably a little known fact that when you purchase a Kindle book, you can actually, and I'll be putting some links in below so that you can see it. I have some screenshots that right below where you can buy it, there's a box that says buy for others. So you can purchase it for others and you can either enter their email address and send them a note, just like you would if you send them an Amazon gift card, or you can have all of the links to the ebook sent to you and then you can send them out as you want to. I've had people already start buying, like, uh my sister, thank you, my sister Nancy bought it for several family members. She bought like 10 copies and she's sending them out and people are reading the book. So you can do the same. And it's really not limited to friends and families. If you have coworkers, if you're an employer, if you are a business owner and you want to give it as a gift to your employees or your colleagues or your business partners, it's a great thing to give to people. Valentine's Day is coming up. If you are in a partnership, if you are a partner or a spouse, have a boyfriend or girlfriend, it's a great thing to use as to do it together, to learn together, to work on it together. Because I work with a lot of couples and there's lots of information in there that is applicable. So yeah, so it's available for this week until Saturday at midnight for 99 cents.
That's amazing. So, yeah, I love this because it's like a BOGO, right? If I buy
Yeah,
one, I can give one. And
right.
so if you buy one for 99 cents, you can gift it to somebody else who may not, so
I'm going
I
to buy
love
some. I'm buying a bunch of them because I'm going to give them to clients. I'm going to,
it. Exactly.
clients as giveaways to from several different people. So I'm buying a bunch too.
Well, and if people are like, "Hey, I know an employer whose team might benefit from this, or somebody who teaches and their students might benefit, or another community group or something," tag them in the comments here, and so they can replay this video and they can see what this is all about and they can gift it. I mean, we're a year away from the holidays already, but these would be great stocking stuffers in the
Yeah.
future, great for birthdays, other things like that. But even groups of people, and what I'm going to do is I'll put out a challenge. I'm going to go. I have a team of people, like I might gift it to in my community, and I'm going to buy 10. That's $10. For $10, I can give 10 books away to people who can benefit from Estelle's story. So that's like a no-brainer, honestly. Why wouldn't you? But even if you just do one, 99 cents, you can't get a cup of coffee for 99 cents. Are you kidding me?
Can you even get a candy bar? I don't think you can get a candy bar
No,
for
I don't think so.
is
I
it okay?
don't know what you could get.
I
You
don't
can't
think you
even
can
get
get
something
anything
for
for 99 cents.
not even at the 99-cent
Not
store.
even at the
So,
dollar store. Everything at the dollar store is now $5. So it's no longer the dollar store.
so this is the deal, you guys. This is the deal. So each one reach like 99 cents, and then you could just so basically it's 50 cents because you're buying one and gifting another. So
Well, there you go.
50 cent. What can you get for 50 cents? I'd have to Google that and find out. Yeah, so that's a fantastic deal. So, feel free to, if you're gonna, let us know when you, did you drop that link in the chat, Estelle?
Oh, let me do that.
Yeah, we got to give them the link so that they know where to go to get that. And
I
then
had that ready to go.
if people click on that link and do their each one reach one, tag us back in the comments and let us know that you did it, and keep us
Please.
posted. Tag your friends, all that good stuff. Estelle's dropping that link in. That would be
There's the
helpful.
link. Thank you.
Yeah. Got all excited about that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's just to me a no-brainer. Are you kidding me? And then of course that those books for 99 cents, those are downloads so that you get them immediately,
Yes.
right? On your
On
Kindle.
Kindle. Yeah, and if you don't have the Kindle device or the Kindle app, you can view it on Amazon, on the Amazon website. Any book that you buy through Amazon's digital program is available if you don't have a Kindle app or a Kindle device. So you can read it if on a laptop or if you don't have one of those devices. And the book is also, when you go there, the book is in paperback and hardback, and those are available now also. Yeah, Leanne's got her
That's
paperback.
right. See?
Yay!
Yeah. I love that I can get it immediately with a download, but I'm
Yes.
also a fan of having an actual book in my hand and when I need a break from screen time. So I love that you have these options,
Yes.
to do that. And of course it was here within a couple of days. So
Yeah,
it's
comes really fast.
so fast. Can we
Paperback.
talk about this beautiful cover?
Yay!
Oh
I have
my
an
gosh,
amazing
Estelle.
designer. I did a cover contest and I love my designer. She did a beautiful job. I had the idea for the butterflies because butterflies are kind of my signature. There are, if you look at all
Yeah.
my stuff, butterflies, because for me, it represents transformation. And as a transformational coach, and I know Leanne, you're a transformational coach, that's, super important. I live for the transformation of my clients.
I love it. And then so we're gonna stick around here for a little bit while everybody has the opportunity to go to the Amazon link for the each one reach one. And
Yep.
then of course, tag us in the comments, let us know that you did it so we can celebrate that together. And while we're doing that, hey Estelle, I wanted to ask you a little bit more about your writing journey. I know you did some things differently and it's been a long, long road. Do you want to share about that?
Yes. Because I think it parallels people's journey with money. So, there's lots of information out there on both topics, how to write a book, the 10 steps, the whatever, and the same with money. And I talk about it a lot in the book, that you've probably taken, read books, taken courses, whatever, and some things just don't work for you. And that's how it is with the writing process. It was a long process. And actually, it took the whole process for me to figure out it's like kind of like pregnancy, thinking about that. It takes the whole process of being pregnant to go, this is why people have kids again. Cause like, oh yeah, the next time I'm going to do it, I know what I'm doing. When you have kids, you don't have a clue. They don't give you a manual. And then the second one, you know better. I think there's a commercial out there that shows that shows like the mom that's like putting freaking out about everything. And the second kid, she's like, yeah, let's get going. So it's kind of like that. I learned, right? I developed my process through going through the process, unfortunately. So now I have it. So I started out by listening to other people and going, okay, I need to get up and write for 20 minutes. Okay, I'm a night owl, first of all. And getting up and writing for 20 minutes, I did that was the only commitment, was to write for 20 minutes. And it worked for a portion of the book. It worked for my story because that's something I could just write. But it didn't work when I got to the research phase. 20 minutes is not going to help me out in research. I'm sorry. I needed like 3 hours, right?
Yeah.
So there's different phases of the writing process. And so there's different ways to write. That's number one. And then when I got to editing, that's a whole different process. And then
Yeah.
right? And there's I can't remember the terminology. It's like scribing versus something. There's two ways you can write. You can write where it's free flow, free writing, you're just writing and then you go back and edit, or you can do the write edit thing. Now, in my job, I'm a write edit person because I work a lot with technical information and laws and regulations. And so it's a write edit process. You're not free flowing anything. You're just you're checking, is that the rules? So it's write edit. And so I unfortunately started bringing that into my writing process. And it's very slow going because you don't write fast and you don't write a lot. And then when I got the idea and I, went to several classes, groups until I kind of got my rhythm, the write process is a free flowing process. It's just like open up a document and start writing, and you do not limit yourself. And then you go back and edit. So I had to, I had to figure out those processes for me, and also times when writing was good. I tend to be a person that I love challenges, daily challenges, but I don't do very well doing something every day at the beginning of the day for 20 minutes, unless it's like my
Yeah.
regular routine. So for me, it was like, and I work full time. It was like a weekend. I would take extra days off and I would like write for the whole weekend. I would, do 2 hour sprints or 1 hour sprints or 20-minute sprints. And so I had to figure all that out. And it got to the point where in the end, it was just get in the chair. If you can just get yourself in the chair, because I would be cleaning out closets and doing all kinds of stuff. Because writing, I
Yes,
always
I
say,
remember this.
yes, right. Because I'm a speaker that writes. I don't see
Me too.
myself as a writer. My son's a writer, and it's just like it's like. But I developed a process. I really did. And the
You did.
key is to know that I can do it and to get in the chair. And I also did some co-working. We would do writing sprints. There were several groups online. One of the editing, publishing, marketing group that I'm using, they actually helped me, Paper Raven, they helped me tremendously with the writing process, because they have a program called Ready to Write. And that really helped me to, and they actually suggested try out different things, try out different times. You've got to figure out what's right for you. And they really helped me with that process. And then they did writing sprints. So we would get together, for periods of time and do work sessions.
Yeah. It's funny, I'm listening to you and as you're sharing the writing process, I'm like, you know, when when I think back to the times as you were doing this and observing you through this journey, I'm like, yeah, there was that part of it, the actual writing of it, but then there was this other part where you were talking to people, you were constantly
Yeah.
getting feedback on the
Yeah.
process to make sure that your message was coming across clear, which
Yes.
we don't always associate with writing. We think of writing as just the actual, task of writing, but what you did is you were constantly going back out there having
Absolutely.
sharing it with people, getting feedback, like, "Is this message does this make sense to you? Is it resonating with you?" But
Yeah.
also, I remember there was a time where, um, you were making sure, like, in talking to people on their own financial journey, like, "How do I tap into that and make sure that people understand, like, it's not just about me or what I do?" Secondly, the other thing is you're sharing this. I think it's fascinating that and what a nice parallel is the fact that your book is telling people you don't have to be an expert, going back to that quote, you just
Yeah.
have to be informed, right? And it takes practice to get to be an expert in a thing. And just like you didn't think when you still are like, "Well, I'm not an author," I hear you say,
Right.
but the truth is you didn't just one day write a book and the next
Right.
day publish it. It's a
No.
journey. So,
Oh my
although
God.
Estelle,
So true.
has 40 years of experience and then some in financial management, when it comes to writing a book, she's just like anyone else is like, "Okay, here's where I start." And now she's done it once, now she has hindsight. So, in reading her book,
Exactly.
no, you can start at the beginning not knowing, and this is your first step in
Absolutely.
becoming informed. And so, I love that you gave an example of that you set out to do something that you didn't know much about, and
No.
then you went through that whole process. So, if Estelle can go out there and write a book, and someone else can come in and read your book, and they can become very well informed on how to
Absolutely.
better improve and make better choices for their personal financial wealth.
Absolutely. And a couple things you said there, Leanne, that I really like. Number one is that it was a process and a journey. And this is a clue for coaches out there. You got to work with clients to understand what's going on. It cannot just be about you. A lot of coaches go through training and it's a catch 22. They want to be out there, but they want to have experience before they're out there. And it doesn't work
Yeah,
that way.
right? No, no, all of this Insta success that we're so used to seeing is like smoke and mirrors, people, smoke and mirrors.
Yeah. You've
It
got to be working with
it
clients. And you've got to, and that was helpful through my process of writing the book, of continuing to work with clients and continuing to
Yes.
have conversations and to understand what is going on, in the world and how it affects people. That's number one. Number two, because we're all so different, we have different experiences, environments we've grown up in, we have different personalities and different learning styles, that it's a unique journey. So just get started. And I know Leanne and I come from the coaching school of thought that says, you're not trying to overcome problems. You're just trying to, play better and be better at what you want to do. And that takes practice and that takes experimentation and
Yeah.
looking at things as an experience. It's not win, lose. It is win, learn, right?
Play
Instead of,
better. Yeah.
yeah, instead of I can't start because I don't know enough and I don't know, you got to start so that you can learn or you'll
Yeah,
never get
exactly.
anywhere.
It's like I love our little nephew is learning how to play hockey, right? And you got to go out there, you got to fall on the ice. You got to fall down. You It's not about how many times you fall down, it's about how many times you get up. Get
Exactly.
up, try again. Get up, try again. And the more you do, the better you get. And because you learn, like, oh, if I do this, I won't fall down as quickly. I will
Right?
move faster. If I if I squat down a little bit, I can keep my balance. I can maintain and I can hit the it's practice. And, I was just reading also about, someone had shared a post on LinkedIn, but they play basketball and they're like, you know, "I set out to do 1,000 shots a day. I don't make all of those shots, but after a period of time of doing 1,000 shots a day, I make more now than I did that first day. Why? Because I learn how to play better each time I throw. Well, if I do it this way, if I do it that way."
Yes.
That's no different with finances. You don't have to be a math whiz or a
No.
mathematician or have a ton of money to start with. You just have to start.
And I think that's one of the things in the book that people like is that I tell people, especially like when it comes to saving and investing, don't be waiting for the 10% of your income to start. Start with $5. Start with whatever. And I think if people, like you're saying, Leanne, start small, start practicing because you don't want to wait for the big event to have to
Yeah.
start because then you're in a mess. So if you can start small instead of,
So here's your
simple things
I'm so
instead of
excited because
waiting
you're
till
like,
there's like a catastrophe.
right now you have a choice.
Exactly.
Right now you have a choice. Don't wait until the catastrophe where the choice is made for you.
Right.
Because if you choose not to do anything about it today,
You're going to be in a circumstance where you have to
yeah,
just
that's a
do, then
choice.
you got to do whatever. Then your choice may not, your choices are limited, really. And so it doesn't have to be a big deal. Just get started. Just get started.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Get started. 99 cents. Each one, reach one. Think about it. It's not even 99 cents. It's 50 cents for you, 50 cents for a friend. What a gift. Like
Right.
99 cents, each one, reach one. And if you don't want to gift it to a friend, you can read it twice.
There you go.
Just, come on. Anything in the chats that we need to be aware
Oh,
of? Any
let's see.
questions? Any comments? Yeah. I love this, Estelle. I'm very excited.
Let's see.
I'm very
Oh, thank
excited.
you, Kevin, for saying such a good backstory. Thank you. Uh, is believing that you have no choice a choice? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that is unfortunately it is, believing that is definitely that's a mindset shift that can be made and shifted for sure. Oh, this is
Yep.
quotes that people like is believing that you have a choice. Your words create your world. Okay, that's one of my favorite models that is in.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I talk about it. The best way right now to the example for that is social media because the formula
Yeah.
is your words create your thoughts, create your beliefs, create your feelings, create your actions, create your experiences. And that we have the beliefs based on the experiences that keep reinforcing that. And social media is that. Have you ever been in a thread and people will die on the vine trying to convince somebody? And that that behavior just has them dig in deeper because of the algorithm and the things that just keep reinforcing that. So that is true on social media and in our lives. Tony says the personal anecdotes in the book makes the information more real for the reader. Thank you. Very easy to understand the book. Let's see, no questions. Yay, Deanna just bought 10. Thank you, Deanna.
Yay, Coach Deanna.
Candace
I'm
says,
doing
if you
the hard
wait till you're ready, yeah, yay, thanks, Deanna. If you wait till you're ready, you'll never be ready. That is so true. For
Yes.
everything in life, and especially with your money, for sure. Thank you, everybody, for being in the chat and for contributing. And if you're a writer, put in the put in your if you're writing, if that's you're a writer and what you're working on right now. And I'd love to hear about it and support you in your writing ventures. I know a million people. I was never a person that wanted to write a book. Believe it or not, a lot of people, they say 80% of the population wants to write a book. I'm like, okay, I'm in the 20. That was not me
I love
walking in
it.
going, I have to write a book. Nah, it's like, okay, I guess I gotta write a book.
Yeah. And well, and I go back to there's a lot of people who are like, I don't want to count money or figure out why I'm
Right.
such a mess. But you know what? It just sometimes things have to be done, everyone.
And they don't have to be difficult or hard. And one of the things I work with people, Leanna, I
Yeah.
like personalization and customization. So I have clients, and I have a lot of creative clients that they don't do spreadsheets. They do sticky notes. They do murals on the wall. They put their spending plan on a mural. You don't have to, we've got to find something that works for you, that you like, that you will enjoy doing to a certain extent,
Yeah.
and that you'll be consistent at doing. So, that it's all customized. This is not a one size fits all process. Money is not. People think it is. People out there will say, take the 10 steps, do whatever. But those are the 10 steps that worked for maybe them, but they may not work for you. So we got to find what works for you. And then it becomes much easier.
Yeah. Definitely. And I think, that's something that I think is really important that you talked about. It's customization to the individual because not everybody's mind works is most efficient with a spreadsheet. Some people,
Oh, no,
it really makes sense for them to do it in a different format and to find out
absolutely.
what works for you and sets you up for success is what needs to happen. And I love that you're able to help people find that, like what is it for you? And 'cause
Absolutely.
nobody wants to have the, well, you should. I don't want
No. Oh my
all this.
goodness.
So I don't
And
need all
actually, people come in, they come in and they expect me to be shooting on them.
right.
They
And it's like,
do. They're
well, I
like,
should on you.
yeah, we got to get, that's the first like hurdle we have to get through. It's like, look, I'm not here to judge or criticize you, or this is a judgment-free zone, because people come in,
Ed.
they don't even want to tell me anything because they have so much shame, guilt, and stuff about their debt or whatever it is. And that we've got to break through that, because I can't help you if I don't know things, and we can't talk about it if you're not telling me stuff. But we got to get through that level of um just communicating and really creating a safe space so people feel like that they can do that with it, because people do judge you. People are judgmental about money because they judge themselves. And the other thing, and I talk about it a lot, and everything I talk about, is that we don't talk about money. It's one of the a taboo subject. So what that does is it pushes everything underground, and then you based on your beliefs, environments, and all that, and then your own personal thinking, and then what you're thinking that they're thinking that you can't say. So it becomes this thing because nobody's talking about it. So then it becomes, then a bigger problem. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is incredible. I'm excited for your book. I love that you're
Yay,
offering each
thank
one
you.
reach one. I mean, that just kind of that goes hand in hand with the whole message of the book and the process is you're being so generous and I've witnessed, you coaching and seeing the work that you do. And I think that you carry out that generosity of spirit that we learned at Coachville,
Right.
and I think that this just shows, how important that is if you can take care of your own personal finances, you're better equipped to help other people. And that's exactly what you're doing, and you're giving back. And so a lot of times we hear people who say, "Oh, I don't want to be, the man, or I don't want to be that person." You don't have to be, but if you really want to help people, you can help even more people by helping yourself. And
Absolutely. It's kind of that
yeah.
uh um cup half full, the put your gas mask on, put your oxygen, don't put your gas mask on, please. If you're on, if you're
Yeah,
on a
no,
plane,
no,
if you're
no,
on a,
no.
if you're on a plane, please don't put a gas mask.
Yeah,
Put your
that. Different journey, different
oxygen, yeah,
journey.
really, your oxygen. We're buying gas masks at work for police officers. That's what I'm thinking about, gas masks. In my job, that's what we're doing. Oxygen mask on first. So two things with that. Yes, if you have a vision, a mission in the world, I always say Mother Teresa personally didn't have a lot of money, but she had millions at hand, right? She could garner millions to help people. You can't make a difference in the world, unfortunately, in the world that we live in, without money. So if you
Yeah.
really want to make a difference, because there's a lot of people in that space that just want to help, and you got to have money to do it. So that's one. And then in order to have the dream that you want in the world, or for yourself, even just to live your own dream, you've got to have this piece handled so that you can be free, so that you don't have to worry about it, so that you can be freed up to use your gifts and talents to make a difference in the world. So, it is important for both of those reasons.
Wow. This is so great. So do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to share before we close
Oh,
out our
yes,
live?
I
Yeah.
do. And I didn't
Okay.
even tell you about this one. Um, let's see, there was two things I was going to talk about, but there's a third. Now I've forgotten, but it'll probably come to me. So upcoming events. So stay tuned, everyone, because I'm going to be doing an audiobook that I'm starting it, later this month, and it should be out this spring, hopefully by April. So there will be an audiobook coming out. And then I also have a companion journal that's going to be coming out. There was something else I was going to share that I was going to do, and I don't remember what that is now. I'll share
A
it later.
second book?
It was well, yeah, there is a thought of a second. There actually is two more. I know I'm not a writer, but I have the ideas for two more
She's a
books.
writer. She's a writer.
I have an idea for two more books coming. I don't remember what it was. I should have written it down. I should write everything down. But anyway, the companion journal in the book, there at the end of every either section or chapter, there's a reflection question or two and an action step. Sometimes it's reflection, sometimes it's action, sometimes it's both. And we pared that down because I had a lot more of those. So I am putting those in a companion guided journal that's going to be coming out. Yeah.
Great. So we know for sure we have these two things to look forward to is the audiobook version, which I love. I'm a huge fan of audiobooks, and two, the journal, the companion journal. So knowing that you have two more really cool things coming out, where can people find you or learn more about that or be on the list?
They can go to estellegibson.com.
Great. Let's drop that in the comments or in
Okay,
the
can
chat
do
for
that.
everybody.
Yeah.
EstelleGibson.com. Yeah, because if I know that once everybody gets their hot little hands on this book, look at this book. Oh, it's
Yeah.
so nice. That they're gonna want a companion journal because there is there are so many great exercises and things to do. And again, it's not just spreadsheets. This
No.
is you break this down in such a doable method. And then the other thing is the Audible books. I
Mhm.
love because oftentimes when I read something, I'm like, oh, I should write that down or I want to remember that. But there's several books we want to go back, and it's easier to reread as we're walking and doing something else and just letting that sink in or right before bed. So um, that's always a nice thing to have in your back pocket.
Yes. And as you
Yeah.
get into the book, there are links, there's some bonus material and also resources that you can just go to pourbychoice.com. I'll drop that link in too. And
Mhm.
for any resources. And I do reference the book, Rewrite Your Money Story. It is referenced in Pour by Choice. That is a guided journal. There's a section in the book on the 4 levels of beliefs that you can have, and that is a journal to walk you through creating your own um, basically blueprint of that, and then being able to rewrite that story. Keep the parts that make sense for you and the parts you don't want to rewrite it. So that journal is available also too.
I love it. So what we want to do today, just so everybody
Yes.
knows, Estelle has a lot of tools in her toolkit, a lot of ways to help you uh, play better as you grow your own personal finances. So today, the very first step, just to make sure, is that each one reach one, and that's where for 99 cents, super easy. That link is in the chat.
I'm gonna drop it
Just
again.
that's the most amazing place to start today. And it's super easy. You can download it immediately. So, uh, you know, why put off today?
Yes.
But, just get started, you know?
Get
That's the first step.
started.
That's a choice. That's choice number one.
Yes.
Choice number one right here.
And there's Arlette, totally me needing an audible. I got you, Arlette. It's coming. One of the things I work with on people is their learning style. And I have a lot of people that are auditory.
Yep.
So that's one of the reasons I am doing the book, because I try to do all my materials for the 4 learning styles. So
Yeah.
it's
I
coming.
love it. All right, everybody. Well, Estelle, thank you. I am honored to be here
Thank
as
you,
we
Leanne, for
celebrate
being here.
this
Yay.
this huge milestone. I'm so
Yes.
excited. I love everything I'm reading in the book so far, and I know I'm just excited to see what's next. Everybody can go to estellegibson.com for more information, but the first choice you really want to make today is the each one, reach one. Super simple. There's that you don't have to wait for anything. It's instant download. You don't even have to have a Kindle. You can read it right there online.
Yeah.
So look at that. Barriers broken.
Yay. All
All
right.
right.
Thanks everyone for being here.
Thank you,
Happy
everybody.
birthday to my dad.
Happy birthday. All right. Start making choices.
Yay.